Today I'm going to teach you how to make a fancy plated French dessert called a napoleon to surprise your mom with on Mother's Day. Hi guys, my name's Brittnee and I'm a pastry chef. I make videos about chocolate making, cake decorating, and plated desserts. If you're interested in learning more about how to make your desserts look and taste delicious, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. There will be more delectable content to come. All right, so here's what you're going to learn in today's video. First, we'll make the pastry cream. Second, we'll make the puff pastry sheets. Well, we're going to cheat and use store-bought puff pastry. And then we're going to prepare some berries and some other decorations for the plating. And then we will assemble the napoleon. And then lastly, we'll plate the dessert. So we're going to start by making the pastry cream. First thing you want to do is turn your burner onto medium heat. You're going to pour your milk into a pot along with your sugar. And we're going to heat this until the sugar's dissolved. It'll heat slowly so that we don't burn the milk. And then next you're going to whisk together your other bowl of sugar and your cornstarch, just until it's mixed. You're going to put that in your bowl of eggs. And then you're also going to add your vanilla. Is this not the cutest bowl? Can you even see it from that far? Oh my gosh. I basically just pre-measured the vanilla so that I can use this tiny little bowl because it's so cute. Okay, so you're gonna mix all that together. You're going to whisk it until it's combined. And then you're going to whisk it until it lightens. All right, I think that's good enough. As I do more. Okay, really though, my arm's sore. Okay, so it's a little bit lighter in color, as you can see. All right, so you've got your eggs ready. We mixed that up nice and good, and we're just kind of waiting for the milk and sugar to dissolve. We're just gonna give it a stir. I don't feel any grittiness, so that's good. That means the sugar's dissolved. Now we're going to bring the milk and sugar to a boil. So we're just gonna wait till it's ready. Okay, you can see it's starting to steam, it's getting hotter. Then it'll start to bubble around the outsides and then come to a full boil. Also, I have a PDF of all the recipes. If you want to download that, I will put the link for that in the description box below. So then you'll know all the ingredients and the measurements on one sheet for the whole plated dessert, and you can just print that off and follow along. What's that saying? A watched pot never boils, or something like that. True. I'm starting to see a little boiling in the middle, so we're going to move on to the next step before things get out of control. Okay, so you're going to temper your egg mixture. I'm going to use a cup so I don't spill on myself. So you're going to pour in a little at a time and whisk. You're slowly warming up the eggs so they don't get shocked and scramble. I've done that plenty of times. Haven't we all? Yeah, maybe we haven't, but I have. Now I'm going to just pour this all back into the pot. And I'm going to stir consistently as it warms up, and you'll be able to see it thicken. Now, don't want to scrape my pan up, so I'm going to use this, which whisking it's better if you have a silicone whisk, that won't scrape your pan, but since I don't have one, I'm just gonna use this. So it's not gonna look as pretty. It's gonna look kind of chunky at first, but it'll be fixed with the whisk later. If you have a silicone whisk, you can just whisk this right now. You can see it starting to thicken up. You can see chunks. We'll get rid of those. It's not a problem. Okay, starting to thicken up faster. You want to make sure you scrape the bottom. Don't want to burn any pieces. You just want to cook it long enough to make sure the starch, the cornstarch, is gone. So you want to make sure it gets nice and hot so that it doesn't taste starchy. So you're almost going to bring it to a second boil. See how you can see the bottom bits bubbling? Then it's done. It's nice and thick. It's boiling a second time. And now we're going to turn the stove off and take this over to the countertop. All right, so now I'm going to add the butter to the pastry cream and let that melt. And this is where you would add your melted chocolate if you wanted to make chocolate pastry cream. And I'm wondering, comment down below what you prefer, chocolate or vanilla. Personally, I like vanilla pastry cream better, although when it comes to like ice cream or something, I like chocolate. So I'm gonna put this in my mixing bowl of my KitchenAid. And this is how I'm going to cool it down. Because pastry cream needs to sit and chill in the fridge overnight. So if you're making this dessert, keep that in mind. You're gonna wanna make it a day in advance. So I said we would fix the lumps with a whisk. So we can do that here. And now it's nice and smooth. There's two ways to cool down the mixture. You can put it in a KitchenAid and just put it on the lowest setting and just let it mix. It gets cool air in there and cools it down. Let it mix until the bowl is cool to the touch or warm to the touch. It doesn't hurt to touch it, is what I'm trying to say. Or you can put this, well, transfer the pastry cream into a separate dish and then put it in an ice bath, which is just another bowl filled with ice and a little bit of water, and set it in there and then stir it by hand to cool it down. So this has been mixing for just a few minutes and now it's cool to the touch. We're going to take it out of here and transfer it into a Tupperware so that we can put it in the fridge to cool overnight. For the puff pastry, I'm using this one that I found at the grocery store at Pepperidge Farm. It says that it needs to thaw for about 40 minutes. It's been out of the freezer for 50 minutes at this point. I don't know, I can't remember. But I'm going to check it and see how soft it is and see if I can unroll it without breaking it. Looks like I might be able to. The middle is still pretty cold. I am going to undo this and lay it on the pan so that it can thaw a little quicker. At this point, it's soft enough to unfold. So be sure to set out your puff pastry. Once your puff pastry has been thawing for about 50 minutes, you're going to prepare it for baking. So preheat the oven to 400 degrees, and then what you're going to need is 2 sheet trays, a piece of parchment paper, and a silicone baking mat. Lay the puff pastry out on the baking mat, and then it's a little too big for the pan to fit both sheets, so I'm just going to trim it like this. Okay. And kind of just do that. And then you're going to dock. Docking just means poking holes in it so that it doesn't puff up too much because of all the layers. And the way you say puff pastry in French is millefeuille. I have to do it with my fake French accent because I don't actually know if I say it right or not. Once you're done docking, you're just going to sprinkle a little bit of sugar on the top. And then to prevent this from getting too puffy, We're going to lay down a parchment paper so it doesn't stick, and we're just going to place our second sheet tray on top to kind of weigh it down. Then once your oven's preheated, just put this in the oven for about 15 minutes. So the puff pastry has been baking for about 15 minutes. I'm just taking it out so we can check it. Take off the top sheet tray. I'm just gonna pull the parchment up to check. Looks like it's starting to cook around the outside. It's still pretty raw in the middle. So we're going to put it back in the oven with the sheet tray on top. I'm gonna put it back in for about 10 more minutes for now. All right, so the puff pastry has been in the oven for another 10 minutes. So let's give it another look. It's looking a little more done, but I still feel like if we take the top sheet off now to let this brown, it's gonna continue to puff up. And we don't want that to happen because we want these sheets to be nice and flat. So I'm going to put it in for another 10 minutes and we'll check it again. Okay guys, another 10 minutes in the oven and let's check it. Let's see how it's baking. If I'm counting correctly, it's been in the oven total 35 minutes. It's definitely looking a little more golden. So I think now I'll put this back in the oven without the top sheet on, and let's try 7 minutes this time. All right, the 7 minutes is done. It's a little puffy, puffing up like me during the quarantine. I am going to flip them now. They're nice and golden, making progress here. Okay, we want to make sure the bottom's done, so we're going to flip these, and then 7 final minutes in the oven should do the trick. All right, I pulled them out for the last 7 minutes. They're looking deliciously golden. Okay, so just gently move them over to the cooling rack like this. And while we wait for these to cool, we're going to prepare some berries and some other decorations, which I'll show you now. Go ahead and rinse your berries and set them out on a paper towel to dry. Once the strawberries are dried, you're going to get some chocolate melts, either dark chocolate, milk chocolate, or white, whatever you prefer. Melt them carefully in the microwave until they're smooth. Go ahead and dip your strawberries. Once your strawberries are set, feel free to add some gold or silver leaf. In my opinion, gold and silver leaf is never optional. I add it to everything. Now we're going to quickly make our flat icing. So in your bowl of powdered sugar, you're going to add the melted butter and your corn syrup, mini bowl again, and mini spatula. They're so cute, right? Yeah, I love them. Okay, now you're going to whisk those together. And now you're going to add a little bit of milk at a time. So it's running and still holding its shape, but eventually it sinks back into itself. So it's getting close. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. Okay, that's looking really good. It falls back into itself, but not too quickly, which means it won't run off your Napoleon sheet. And I'm going to scoop a little bit of this frosting so that I can color it pink for our decoration on the top of the Napoleon. That is really pink. I don't want it quite that pink. Our flat icing is ready. Now I'm just going to quickly make 2 pastry bags out of parchment paper. And now I'll just put the flat icing inside the pastry bags. Whew. Now, I know this is a lot of steps to remember. Don't forget that I created a PDF for you with all the recipes and the ingredients and the steps on how to make this dessert. So check that out in the link below. All right, so we're getting closer to being able to assemble our Napoleon. But first, we must cut it. I've included this stencil in the PDF I mentioned before that you can download in the description box. That'll just help us cut a nice even Napoleon. So first I'm going to make a nice straight center line, and you're using a serrated knife, and you're going to be very gentle. You're not really applying much pressure. You're just using the knife to do the cutting. You're using the teeth, not the pressure. Okay, so now we're going to cut the length of the Napoleon. Using our guide, we draw a line like this. So we'll use 3 per Napoleon. This is extra that you can eat later yourself with the pastry cream. All right, and you're done with this. Now you're just going to do the exact same thing with the other sheet, and then we're almost ready to start building the dessert. All right, now you've got your pastry sheets. You're going to trim the pastry tip of the bag that we made earlier with the flat icing in it. And you're going to pipe a border around the outside, and then you're going to fill it. You kind of want to try to do this fast, so you don't want it drying before you have time to pipe your decoration in with the pink, or you can do chocolate, whatever color you want. So this is what I'm trying today. I'm gonna do dots that will become hearts, and you can use a knife to do this. You don't have to have one of these tools. Set that one aside and do the rest. I'll show you this one. This one is the classic Napoleon design. All right, so I quickly just whipped some heavy whipping cream just until stiff peaks, which looks like this. And I have pulled my pastry cream out of the fridge that I made yesterday. So it's chilled overnight, and I made both chocolate and vanilla just to show you. So I'm going to fold a little bit of whipped cream into each of the pastry creams. They're kind of rubbery when you pull them out of the fridge. So the whipped cream makes them nice and light. It just has a better texture. It tastes really good. Once we're finished whipping the cream and pastry cream together, we're going to stack the Napoleons, and then we are ready to plate. Finally. Okay, stir, 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 another arm workout. Now I've got 2 piping bags with just round tips. This is a 2A Wilton. Okay, do not let your stuff come out the top. So you're gonna pinch it together, pinch it with your thumb and index finger, and twist it. Whoop. It can come out this side, but you don't want it coming out this side. Okay, so that's how you're going to always pipe. And then you use your palm to squeeze. Your palm and your fingers. That way it won't leak. All right, we are ready to stack the napoleons. Start with the bottom layer. Take whichever pastry cream you're using in your bag. I'm going to start in the corner with a dot, a dot, a dot, just for spacing. I'm going to do one in the center, and I'm going to do two in between, like that. And you can do it thicker if you want, and then just fill in the middle like this. This gives a nice look. You can see the little dots from the outside, which is cute. Okay, and then you're going to do the second layer, same. I'm making them plumper this time. They look better. There we go. You gotta get in the rhythm, in the flow, you know? It's true. Okay, and then take one of your pretty toppers and place it on the top. And there is one Napoleon finished. Mm-hmm. All right, all of the Napoleons are filled. Now it's time to plate, my favorite part. All right, so here are all the supplies you're going to need to do your plating. The Napoleons, of course. Some isomalt decorations, which I have a video on. If you want to check that out on my channel, I teach you how to make these. Some melted chocolate, our assorted berries, some painter's blue tape, whatever this is called, some raspberry sauce, which the recipe is included in the PDF download, a pastry brush, a star tip piping bag with the extra whipped cream that we whipped earlier, gloves, don't forget them, our chocolate dipped strawberries with gold or silver leafing, of course, a nice plate. You can do square, or you can do round. It can be a different color, whatever you want. I'm going to use this like ovalish one and the square one because I'm going to plate one chocolate Napoleon, one vanilla. So here we go. I'm all set up to plate now. Before I put my gloves on, I'm going to do the tape part just because they'll stick to the tape. So for this one, I want to do a stripe of chocolate across the plate, and I want it to be really crisp. So I'm going to put tape like this. And now with my melted chocolate, I'm going to dip my pastry brush in and just paint it. It's gonna give it a cool texture. And then when you peel it off, it's gonna look nice and crispy. It's gonna have these cool like stripes in it. So I'm just going to pull off the tape. Oh man, look at that nice line. Got my gloves on. I'm going to grab the chocolate Napoleon because this is the theme of this plate is chocolate. I'm going to place it in the center. If it's in the center, it should probably be centered. All right. Okay, so I think I want to build my berries out this way, kind of along the chocolate line. But first I'm gonna put a strawberry on each side, on the corner. And then I'm just going to kind of place my berries, not too perfectly. So now I picked out an isomalt piece that I really like, and I'm going to take the bag of whipped cream. Whipped cream will help hold the isomalt up. I'm just gonna do kind of a pattern like this across the Napoleon and stick the isomalt in like that. That's this plate finished. So we've got our second plate ready, and what I'm going to do for this one is, ooh, that was close. So I'm going to pour some of our raspberry sauce, and I'm just going to tip this so that it runs. For this one, I'm going to use the heart pattern in vanilla. I'm just going to put it right in the center there. And then same as before, I'm going to add some strawberries. And then I'll grab the other berries. And I feel like that looks good. Now I will get my piece of isomalt that I've picked out for this one. Ooh, I kind of like that. Okay, this one I'm gonna go straight across rather than diagonal. Okay, I think this one is actually my favorite. Hi guys, this is me back again the next day. Something kind of funny happened. I opened my fridge this morning and realized I forgot to add these pretty edible flowers to the plated desserts. This is what they look like. I just bought them from Whole Foods. So I'm just going to add a few flowers to both plates. All right guys, that's it. If you guys are going to try this dessert, please let me know in the comments down below and send me your pictures on Instagram. You can find all the links to my social media down below. Also, don't forget to download the PDF. It has all the instructions and recipes on it. And check out the description below where you will find links to some of the supplies you'll need to create this plated dessert. If you like this tutorial, please give the video a like below and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to check out this video to learn how to make isomalt decorations. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you in a week. Bye.